Hello, hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. Can you let us know in the chat where you guys tuning in from? I can see you guys, but let us know where you guys are coming from. Thank you so much and welcome again. Los Angeles, welcome, welcome, welcome from LA, Vancouver. Oh, good, great. North Carolina, great, amazing. Argentina, nice, 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 nice to see everyone. So Chile, but in Memphis, so nice. Welcome everyone. So we're back. We have a new background, new studio. So everything is chaos now around this place, but we're gonna change in a few weeks. And thank you so much for joining the HQ, the Creator Sessions. These sessions, as you know, are here to inspire students and creators all over the world and also connect them with their inner minds and processes by sharing top artists and creators in the immersive industry. Every month, as you know, we talk with an immersive or creator or artist here in YouTube Live and Twitch as well. And thank you so much for your contribution. And because you're here today, this is what we can be able to make this content. Thank you so much for tuning in. And I'm super excited and super happy to introduce you today to Playmodes. And before we welcome them, I want to talk to you a little bit more about Playmodes. So Playmodes is an audiovisual research studio who are working with custom-made, self-made technologies. And today you're going to be blown away about their technology that they craft themselves. And they have a mixture of creativity, software, hardware that gives birth to immersive installations, projection mapping, lighting for buildings, digital scenography, and audiovisual instruments and sound design. So I want to welcome to Eloy, who is one of the founding members from Playmodes. Unfortunately, we don't have Santi couldn't join us today.
Not here.
Yeah, exactly. But thank you so much, Eloy, for being here today. Eloy and I, we know from long time, right? And we've been in this industry for quite a time already, right? Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you. Thanks for inviting me and being able to share time with you. It's a pleasure, as always.
Yeah, it's always a pleasure to meet you. You know, we've seen in these spots, in these places around the world, like Day for Night, and recently we were in Barcelona, right? In the
I miss you. I miss you in Barcelona. I was not there.
Yeah.
In fact, exactly. Who is missing is Santi Villanova, who is my partner in law, let's say, or maybe someone who I see more than my wife. But he's on holidays, and I think it's a very deserved holidays, and and luckily he cannot be here with us.
Yeah,
he's having a good time, so
okay. What I can share with you guys is you guys know, or if you don't know their work, we strongly recommend you guys to check out their website and check out their work. But Playmodes, I will say this is one of the most interesting studios that I know that combines sound with visual and light. Mm-hmm. in a very artistic and specific way, I will say. So we're going to talk about this in a moment, about your processes and creative process. Mm-hmm. But first thing first, where you guys, where the studio begin in this journey or making, digital art? Because, it didn't have this name of immersive technology and that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah, at the end it was no. We say something that we like. We get like a thread out of we start to work with audiovisuals on around 20 years ago, exactly, or not 23 years ago. That's to be more fair. In 2000, I was studying computer science, and I was studying computer science because I want to make digital art somehow. So when I was 15 or something like this, there was an exhibition or like a festival called Art Futura, Future Art in Barcelona, which was showcasing the top top of the year 3D animations, which basically were done in universities, not still like being commercial or for films, and they were like super weird things made with 3D graphics. Was the beginning of 3D graphics. And when I saw that when I was 15, I said I want to do this. And unfortunately, in Barcelona, there was nothing special to study that at that time. There was too new, let's say, and I had two options: go to like fine arts, study fine arts, and then try to jump into digital art, or study computer science and then try to jump to digital art. And I chose the second one. So when I was finishing my career at the university in Barcelona, I find out software which was called Aesthesis, which was from a French coder, developer, who basically was like a video synthesizer that you were able to do like live video sessions. There were like two channels, mixer in between. You can load some plugins, let's say, or graphic generators. Some of them were like video loopers. It was one of the first BJ softwares. BJ meaning for someone who's doing visuals for the music. And I was amazed for that, and I was on an email list on the year 2000 with the people who were using this software, and we were saying, okay, why don't we organize a meeting, like a nerd meeting of this software, because it's so amazing, it's so new, and we have so many things to share. And that thing, after many turns, became like one of the first BJ festivals in the world, I would say, in year 2000, organized by myself and some friends. Let's say, was like, I had no experience organizing anything. It was just like at the beginning was like a nerd meeting, and it ended up being like a festival with Ninja Tune and many artists from many countries. We had no money. We just offered the hotel, and people were happy to come to Barcelona and share. Well, that was the beginning of something that put me on the scene of the visual. That point was like visual scene or BJ scene. And we made like a organization, or the people who met in Barcelona doing this, we met like a cultural association, which was kind of like a collective to organize this festival for the next year, from the next year. And in 2002, there was a group coming from Valencia, which is a city that is 2 hours south from Barcelona. They did like drum and bass and visuals. And one of the guys who came there was Santi. One of the musicians was Santi, who is actually my partner at Playmodes. We met there in 2002. It was like a free party, rave scene, visuals, all made with a lot of empathy and no money. And we start to work together there, or to meet, and we see like the interest that we had. And he also joined this association collective. And in the coming years, there was a visit from, maybe that's another important point, Zachary Lieberman, who is the main developer of Open Frameworks, which is a C++ creative coding framework, was coming to Barcelona to make like one of the first workshops of Open Frameworks in 2004. I was on that workshop, and there I was willing to work with a video sampling engine. So being able to record from a camera, put that in memory on the computer, and then be able to play or BJ or let's say manipulate the frames that I had in memory in different ways, like from a delay, a relooper, or many concepts. Then I joined Santi, and he was saying, okay, we could do the same with audio. And that, let's say that software was called, or that installation, it became like an installation for video dance, like dancing yourself with you in the past, was called Playmodes. And some years after, we keep on working, and we, for some like efficiency, we said we should make a company, and we should define ourselves as a name. And we choose Playmodes because that was the project that initiated our path together, let's say. So it was an audiovisual sampling engine that we were coding or trying to code. It's still alive, and we are still using it and let's say installing it. It's like we remake it every several years. We make a new version, and that was the origin. So it was like a creative coding installation that was like a live sampling. And from that we start working together, and then there's no, like 15 years more we came here today.
So I understand there is how many people are in the studio right now?
Right now we are 2 3. We were 4 since last year, but we are we are a bit weird people, and I don't know if weird, but we are not good businessmen. We love what we do in terms of researching creative ways of working with
Mhm.
audiovisual stuff, not managing it, not managing companies and all the boring stuff which is behind all these projects. And we didn't manage to grow in a way that we could keep on working. So we decided to go smaller and say, no, we are not like a big studio. We are a tiny studio, and we identify ourselves more with an art craft studio, so that we make like little jewelry,
Mhm. Yeah.
more than a big producer company that can make like huge projects.
And
That's our
and I,
feeling.
I and I understand right now, like you guys are working with, let's say, top events, no, or top, as well brands from time to time. And what was the moment where you guys become successful? Like, where do you think was this, specific type of project or moment where, or project where you
Maybe,
think,
yeah, maybe there was one for us, one of the first times that we realized that our video was kind of vital, or not vital, but was like extending much more than we just thought that it would be. It was, I don't know which year was that, but it was called Porta Stellar. It was a project that we did inside a plane, and was the first project that we work out with LEDs. So our background, after meeting with Santi, we started working with mapping, and we were like 5 6 years working with mapping projects all over the world. And somehow we were getting tired of working with the image, or with yeah, with 3D softwares and mapping itself. And then there was an opportunity to work something out inside an airplane, where you cannot project, where you cannot use projectors. So we decided to start to work with pixels, meaning LEDs, or pixels extended on the space, with LED strips. And that was for us like the first project working with LEDs. At the end, we didn't know or didn't realize, but was one of the first immersive projects that people was inside our container, let's say, of light and visuals. And that video went super viral, and we had like, no, I don't know, for years we had people asking for that project. But it was very difficult to move, because the plane was not ours, and it's
oh,
not easy to move a plane to any other
if
country.
I see you have your website there, so can you just
Yeah,
share with us? So there's people who doesn't know,
yeah.
and from my perspective as well, like, I think this is one of the early big immersive projects that there have been around. And like, I remember the first time that I saw this project was like blown away, for what happened here. So before this project, it was like, there wasn't many projects working with LEDs and music as old right now.
Yeah, that's the plane. The plane, it's owned by an artist, and it's an old plane that was crashing in Spain. There was no victims, no one died, so that the karma of the plane is quite clean. And this guy is an let's say like an artist, and he found this airplane in a junkyard in the south of Spain, broken, and he bought it and reconstructed. So he cut like the wings part, which was like broken, and he just stitched together the two parts and make like a smaller plane. And and then he moved this plane as a cultural temporal space, let's say, all around Europe. And that's why we got in touch. So we were approached by the Barcelona Council, who offered us this space and said, "Do you want to do something here?" So no, the first, let me see if I can see. Well, yeah, basically this is the interior of the plane, very raw, just the aluminum frames. And what we did basically is what we keep on doing, is just analyze the geometry of the space and highlight it with LEDs. So we had LEDs coming from this. Do you see the mouse on my screen? Yeah. So from here, there are the arches. All the arches were like pointed, or like, yeah, highlighted with LED strips. and then we had some others on the windows, and then we had several speakers, we had some lights on the floor, and that's it. No, what we did was just put some light into the architecture itself of the plane, not inventing something. This was for us also a lot of learning on how to make pixel pushing, how to make a texture extended, and we, what you see here, this is like something that we keep on doing, which is we always use like a 3D real-time software to make a preview of the show, and for being able to compose when you're working with a big space or whatever. It's something that you don't own you don't have on your studio that you can try. We build like this 3D geometry real-time thing so that we can test our contents against, and we see, okay, more or less this is the look and feel that we're going to have, and it's very useful, or it's totally necessary to have something like this in order to understand what are we doing. So no, we put some sugar on it, as there was some, like you see, like steward dressing, saying that we were gonna travel into the space, and no, it was a bit of a, let's say, dramaturgy to allow people to believe that we were flying away, and that at the end the show is about like a trip to the like the outer space and then coming back. So it's quite easy. We meet the aliens, we did the extraterrestrial people, and then we come back to Earth.
Something that I want to say here is so what you guys did here with this person telling them that they're going to travel, it's really important for the story. And because I believe that you never have to overestimate the power of that you guys, or that we have, to believe that your audience is going to travel wherever you want them to go, right? This is very strong in the capacity, and I think this is something that it's been is not done that much, but it's very powerful. So I wanted to. So you guys done this, amazing and incredible projects. And how has failure or apparent failure set up your later success? Do you have any favorite failures of you?
The ones I remember one which was a mapping show indoors, and well, it was not a big failure, but it was half a failure. But I would say I don't know. I don't see any relation saying, okay, from that point over, we decided to do things in a certain way or in another way, not to lose again or not to fail again. I think we don't care about failure. I would say we are the good thing, or what I feel proud or lucky, is that we've been able to just do whatever the fuck we want. So basically, because we understood that when we do what we want, what we believe that it's going to work, that things work, and things work. What does it mean work? Work for us and works for the audience, for the success, or we were not looking for success, or we were not looking for being viral or being. I mean, we were just experimenting with a new technique, and what we felt that was gonna amaze us, that's what we want to realize. So we were willing to say, okay, if we are inside a tunnel, I want to see like ta, 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 things like the light going in one direction and the sound going in the same direction. And this is like, we could say that one of the scenes that was influencing this show was 2001 Space Odyssey from Stanley Kubrick. There's a moment where I don't know when exactly, but the guy gets crazy and he gets like in a mind trip, like it's like a tunnel with light coming in like this, and that was something that would say it would be nice to be able to do something like this, but in light, let's say, light and sound, let's say. But I don't know, I don't care about failure, or I don't remember having big failures, or at least we don't give importance if it was a failure. Though you should ask this to someone else.
I think that's a great answer. Like just keep moving, right?
But of course, after years, you learn that failure is part of the process, and it's sometimes it's better, sometimes it's not that bad, that good. But I mean, just follow your dreams. So a failure is not going to change my dreams of what I want to do.
Of course.
And I'm not going to change what I want to do because I had a failure. And I could learn from failures, but not changing my direction, not affecting my direction or my will of doing stuff and transporting people to another conscious state through light and sound. That's still the same, and we keep on trying. And we became like like little scientists that like to elaborate little things that transport people to another state. Let's say.
Yeah. So speaking about creative process, I know because I know you guys from a bit more in person and in your personal work that you guys do. You know, like what is this unusual habit or absurd thing that you guys love, or that you think that helps your creative work? You know, that it's been also very powerful in your creative process.
What you mean? So I think that, well, I don't know. Our creative process always starts by, or it's let's say it's low tech, means it's about talking with me, Santi, or the people on the team, saying, okay, what do we have here? We have a new space. What's the audience like, or what's going to be like, or what do we want to create? What are we talking about, or how do we want to transport people, or what are the options that we have? And that's more or less where things start. Is like ideas with paper and drawings and a whiteboard and discussing and making a discussion, or like several talks about, yeah, what are we doing and what could be done, until we find a root idea which says that's a good route, or we all agree that that's a good route, and say, okay, that's a good route, and maybe we'll look for another one to be able to say, okay, that's a always when you face a project you could build it in 1,000 ways, but we like look for like looking for stuff and say, okay, this is a good route here. Well, that looks nice. There's a lot of options that we can do several things. Like, for example, we talk about nature. Okay, we talk about nature, but nature can be like growing. Things grow in nature. Okay, things grow, and there's like an ecosystem of people. One's eating the others. Developing ideas until we find things that could be related to the project that we've been doing. I don't know if it's appropriate. It's correct,
Yeah,
but
yeah. It's
wait,
very similar to the
yeah.
creative process. You know, like from it's even very similar from the thing that I do when I'm working with experiences. You know, like if you're not able to explain an idea in
Hmm.
a drawing or,
Hmm.
or with words,
Yeah,
it's not a good concept or it's not a good idea. I think
yeah,
that's what I believe. You know, like
yeah.
yeah.
And it's sometimes it's like a ping pong process between me, Santi, or whoever is in the game, because we've been working creative process with different people, friends, whatever, and we all recognize when there's something that starts to be an idea that works. We say, okay, that's something here, and maybe sometimes there's a failure on this process and say, no, this will fall, and maybe the second idea that came was the one that finally succeeds. But sometimes we then, I don't know, I'm not going to say that we are like super intellectual people who are like drilling things until we just play modes is about playing with technology, and the attitude or the attitude that we have against most of the thing is like, let's play. Playing means that you can fail. No, we're talking before about failure, and means that you have to be able to relate with the others and no, jam and play, and it's like playing music or playing a game is like something that it's fun. It has to be fun, and we have fun when we do the creative process, because it's like discussions, and it's like trying to elaborate your let's say your idea or your reasoning, or no, the you have to build up a concept, and sometimes it just breaks down, and sometimes you just say, oh, it's standing, and say, okay, it's standing, so that's a good concept, keep on, in a playful way. So
Yeah, yeah.
failure, the
You're letting, I think you're letting your audience play with your installation, right? And that's the most amazing thing to enjoy, right? People playing with your work, and something that it's that I was going to tell you about what you mentioned about the creative process is one of the most difficult things to achieve when you're working in the creative process is the creative intent.
Mhm.
What do they want your audience to feel? For example, like in your project of this ship, for me, the creativity was a journey into the stars.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like summarizes everything. And when you get this word there, you're able to make things better, to
Yeah.
make them feel that thing to
Yeah.
with your team, with your group, right?
Yeah, and it's quite obvious and simple. Or like say, okay, that's a spaceship. That's like a SpaceX spaceship. So it was kind of obvious saying we have to do a space travel here. There was no other option. Or it was like, okay, of course. And then we put up the flag. We allow people to believe that they are on not allow, but no, if we're talking about immersive stuff. I like to think about it as a real virtual reality. So it's like putting your instead of putting your Hamlet or your glasses or whatever, is like getting into the space and feeling this similar what you feel with the glasses, but in a real space. And our game was saying we're gonna make people believe that we are flying away because of the audio and things.
I think for me, those are the installations that connect the most with myself, with my deeper inner emotions, are
Mhm.
the ones that you can, like, even if it is very abstract, there is a small story or an abstract story to tell. and
Mhm.
and when what I love of you guys is that you guys create story, even if they're so abstract, like with light, with sound, there is
Yeah,
a small story being
yeah,
built there.
yeah. I think sometimes or many times we always have a so we develop a lot. So from the creative process, once we have been talking and we've built like an idea, drawing, talking, sketching, then we have a maybe a much deeper process of scripting and developing all the ideas, all the options, all the. But we build something like a tree of options, because at the end we have to condense everything and order things in time to be able to end up with a sequence of a show. But there are many options, so there's a lot of a process of putting one thing after the other. Sometimes it could be a bit random, or saying just this and then after that, why after that? Because it matches color or it matches the dynamics, not in a very narrative or narrative way or decision. It's not a very narrative decision, but it ends up so it's we make a lot of turns on the let's say the script process.
Totally. So before we continue, I just want to make a quick stop here to talk about the HQ. This is the reason why we're here. So as you know, the Interactive and Immersive Pro is the only school for immersive designers, creative technologies, and touch designer artists and developers. We've been working in over 60 full touch designer and creative technology video courses, a private Facebook group with coaches, peers. Matthew Ragan is there, Elburs is there. We have some programs that we call them the accelerator sessions, which are workshops with top creators where can share their perspective into their work. There is over 120 custom built touch designer tools, and there's a certification program for interactive tech and media professionals. And this month there is a 50% off this month. So the first month, sorry. Okay, so that thing say go back to to the to play modes. So
There were
a
some
bit.
questions on the chat. I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah. We'll get to there in a moment. But
Okay.
before that, let's go a bit more into the. So we talk about the past and we talk about this first installation. So can you share with us some of your most exciting, newer project that your guys are working on, if you can share them, or if you wanna
Yeah,
show
yeah, yeah.
them?
Totally. What I'm thinking, if it's new or new, or what future means, because maybe
Or
one
current? I will say current. Or
current, yeah, one of the things that we've been trying, I would say learning and then trying, because sometimes you learn something but you cannot do it because it's impossible. That's it's not easy, but at least in my case is how many time we spend on projects and how fast we develop them, and no how that's for me it's somehow important, because we've been the last maybe 10 years doing lots of projects and very like one another one another one another one another one, and sometimes some of them are things that we just develop it until a certain way, and it was like, but man, there was a lot of options still to let's say explore on that context, on that installation, on that space, on that language, on that media, on that configuration that we were doing, and then it's gone, and then you jump to another one, and that's nice because we do a lot of stuff and we learn a lot of stuff. But sometimes I feel like sad, or like saying, fuck, there's good stuff from the past that would be nice to pick up and work again. So what I learned from that is like, okay, I should be able to develop a project slowly or slower than usual. That has a counterpart, which means that if you want to do something slow in a year's term, nobody is going to buy it in the early stages of the project. No one is going to say, okay, I pay you for being 2 years for making a project. So it's something that we have to do on our spare time, free time, or invest time, or research time. And which is actually what we most like to do, is to invest time researching new ideas for developing with time and with care to end up doing something big, or something nice. It doesn't need to be big, but something that we've been thinking a lot of years or a lot of time on it. And one of the last projects that I've been involved, and it's past, current, and future, we are in the middle of the process right now, is a project which is working with lasers and the stars on the sky. So we are using a laser scanner to project into the sky, into the stars, and we are kind of drawing constellations on the sky with the laser. This at the end, it's a performance that should happen in a natural place, which is one of the topics that I would say, if I can choose, I would like to be able to make projects in nature. So I develop.
Can you show a little bit
Yeah.
more, because I know you have it there.
Yeah, there's something
So
here.
people can start. This is amazing. This project, when I saw it, it was like, wow, this is incredible what you guys did there.
Let's see if it's gonna will to load or not. Oh, let's reload.
So the name of the project is called Astres.
Yeah. At the end, maybe I can show some of the pictures here. So something like this, that would be an option. No, this is like a Ursa Major, which is one of the northern sky most known constellations. And what we are willing to do here is to create, like, again, it's immersive somehow. It's a sculptorical, because at the end, it becomes like a huge thing that goes from the laser point or source into the sky and becomes quite big, and it's like something that it's moving. It has some, no, there's a lot of possibilities and explorations on how to make sound of the stars, how you draw drawings on the stars. It's a really simple thing also that we've been doing, probably, if you've been able to look at the stars, no, and you imagine like new drawings. So how to make this computationally and digitally and end up doing something which is, it's something like magic, no? And it's so simple and ancient, and again, willing to be sustainable, because it could be held with solar energy. It's kind of a lot of things that I've been adding to it, and it's like, yes, we want to keep on working, developing it. It's very tough. So mathematically, how the fuck you make something that aligns to the stars with a lot of precision. And then we joined with the university in Barcelona, and they are helping us on how to develop the technical side of that, which is huge. But that's one of the things. Let's see if it has already loaded some of the things.
What I like about this project is I always like to see the creative intent in all of the immersive projects, because that's when you understand what is happening there. And for people who are in the immersive industry and who are studying the immersive industry, it's important for you to have an intent. So for me, before you were talking to me about this project, I saw it. It's like, wow, it's very clear that, and it's amazing, the power of reaching the stars. That was kind of like the intent, I assume, but it's very powerful. This magical thinking about we as human, we're able to reach the stars. That's something very powerful.
Mhm. And it's I don't know, it for me, maybe because I remember from my childhood the act of sitting down on the grass on the mountains and looking at the sky, and just a lot of existential questions come to you, like, what the fuck is this, how the fucking big is that? So it's something at the end is, it has a lot of connections for, like, for example, storytelling. A lot of the ancient storytelling came from this. So a lot of the mythology came from drawing, there was a association between stars, drawing and stars, and mythology, so that people was able to recognize shapes on the sky, and that were remaining, for example, seasons, or the, how the past, how the year was evolving. They were saying, okay, now that I see this shape of whatever, a dragon here touching the horizon at this point, I know that we are in, no, winter is coming, and now I should do this or that. So there are a lot of things that us as humans, we have been dealing with stars, or gazing stars, uh, thousands of years, much more than audiovisual media. And there's a lot of, even if we don't have it, or we have not lived it in our lives, in our DNA, there's something there related to the, no, to looking at the stars and listening to stories. So trying to explore all these in a digital way, I mean digital, no? With new medias or with new technologies, it's something that it attracts me a lot, and it's super funny, and it's a mixture also between, when we have done like one performance. We've just done one little performance of this, like real performance. What you see here, like, they are like testings of the actual system. Uh, when we've done it, it's a mixture between storytelling, audiovisual show, immersive, whatever, and also teaching people about the stars and the universe and the science somehow. And this mixture of art and science, in not in a abstract way, but saying, no, no, here we're going to talk, and you're going to experience, if you are willing to, about science and art, no, in the same thing. So it's not about, I'm going making like an LED cube which gets data from the sun and creates like amazing particles, and that's art. That's science. It's art, but science, it's based on science. But I don't know if you get clear what the fuck is science is there. You have to understand that this data comes from particles, and these particles, the moment, it's quite complex. It's not about talking, but when you are able to talk to people and talk them about things that they are looking there right now, it's so nice. And this mixture altogether, it makes, no, it gets us out of the, maybe the more uh, electric festival action, high volume, and, like drilling thing. It's another rhythm, maybe because I'm making old and I want to be more calm and being in the nature and having these kind of experiences. But again, I'm doing what I'm willing to experience myself, and this is one of the things that we are working on right now.
What I like about our career, as a multimedia artist, creators, is that we have the ability to rely on so many disciplines. We're so open, like
Hmm.
science and biology, and there's so many things that we can integrate
Hmm.
and to use technology to tell a story or express something. This is very powerful from the
Yeah, totally,
perspective.
totally.
So, what advice would you give to smart-driven young developer students about their, who are here and they're studying and they're, they probably they want an advice for to start.
Yeah, maybe it's half a an answer from the something that was on the chat. Basically, what we've been doing the last 20 years is work like shit. Work because it's our passion. So work, I would say, spend time on it and put attention on what we are doing, and put attention again and again and again and again. And that means maybe sacrificing some part of your life. Maybe you have to know you have one life, and you have to decide what you do with your time. And me and Santi, we decided to say we want to spend a lot of time doing these stupid things because we love it, we like it, it's our passion, and we enjoy it a lot. When we do our shows, we are the first people who enjoy it the most, because we've done it, and we say, okay, that is the one. No, we are inside of the piece, and we like it. But one of the things would be, if you want to dive into this, you have to dive into this and just get into it and just try and learn and go and keep on, keep on, keep on. I mean, I would say one of the secrets of most of the people that I love what they do is that they spend a lot of time doing what they do. It's not about, no, yeah, I'm gonna spend money and I'm gonna study this, and then once I've studied, I should be a fucking good creative. You have to do it. If no one wants to pay you for a project, just do it anyway, or just make a glimpse of it, but just develop it and work on it, and keep on it. If you have an idea, don't lose it, or don't forget it. Just keep on it, keep on it, keep on it. And that's one of the main things. And the other one is yeah, keep on. So believe in yourself. I mean, I'm computer science, and my background is computer science, and I feel sometimes like saying, okay, I'm not an artist or I'm not creative because I come from the technical side or whatever. It's like, come on, fuck you, or fuck it. It has no relation where you come from and what you can end up doing stuff. It's just about inside of you. If you have something inside of you that you want to express, or you want to deal, you want to explore, or you are eager on doing, just keep on until you can do it. And just, I would say, success will come. I don't know. And it's not easy. It's fucking difficult. That's the only secret. It's fucking difficult. Don't expect to be easy, and I can say in 2 words and you can apply it and then make it easy. No, it's not easy. It's
No
just,
pain, no pain, no gain. And if there is no tears involved, it means that you're doing something wrong, probably.
I
Right.
mean, that's my experience. I don't know. Maybe you are a genius and you don't need that, and you are just pam, and it becomes an easy thing. It was easy in the sense that, as is your passion, is it's something that I don't get bored doing it. I don't get enough time doing it. I stop because my body tells me to go to sleep. But in my young years, I was like, I don't need to stop. Why? I want to keep on. If I solve this part of the problem of the process, I want to make the next step, I'll do the next step. They say, no, I should go to sleep. And then that's a problem also, to balance your life with you are a monster or you are a social person. But that's the point.
Okay, so I'm gonna jump into some questions here from the chat. Okay, let me check. Nelson from Porto Alegre. Oh, Porto Alegre. I tend to go a lot to Porto Alegre, Brazil. So I love what you guys do, but how do you manage to keep it sustainable financially as a business?
I don't know.
That's a very tricky question.
Yeah. I don't know. We've been lucky, I would say. Or again, is about work or doing a lot of projects, and I would say I was telling before, when I started, I was maybe at the beginning, not 20 years ago, I was doing free parties, rave parties, no money. I was asking for people renting projectors for lower price, asking, like finding solutions where there was no money, and because that was the thing that we have to do, and we were passionate about this, and we want that we were so powerful on this that things start to happen, and then something that you made for free and funny and for fun, it became somehow attractive to the industry, or we think that somehow we helped to build our own industry somehow. So there was no BJ scene before. Well, no, at that point it was building globally. It was not us pushing it, but we were there also pushing it. And the people who was developing software for doing visuals, they create the scene somehow and say, okay, we can do this kind of audiovisual performances, and that end up being something that the audience, public, industry, whoever wants to enjoy also. And they say, okay, this thing that you've done for free, this software that you invest thousands of hours, but it's just for you, maybe I want to share it, or I want to look at it, or I want to share it, and then money start to come in and say, hey, you have a gig, you can do VJ, what that you've been doing for my friends for ages, or on all the rave parties for free. Now I have an opportunity to go somewhere that they're going to pay me for that. No? That's at the beginning. But the same with again and again, this project with the stars, we invest a lot on it, and we hope, and that's like this. We hope that it will return in the coming years somehow. It will become a project that we can sell, and then we can recover this money. And maybe it will come. We'll talk about failure in the next talk that we have in some years, and we'll say, no, that was a failed project, and we got no gigs. We already have some gigs, so it's looking good. But the same with everything is like, how do we manage to have sustainable? Just working a lot, and that's also like this. Sometimes you say, okay, no more bullshit. If there's no money, I don't want to make any job. No, are we gonna make we're gonna rise our prices and make no, I don't want to work a lot for just a little money. I'd raise my prices, and then there's no one coming, or maybe there's one project coming, and then you lower your prices, and then you end up full up of doing like a lot of work for low money, and then you raise up. No, and it's continuously is like this. Even for us, actually, it's like this. So I don't know. It's a very difficult question. It's a bit of luck, a lot of hard work, and yeah, being in the having some chance or some opportunities to show you what you have inside.
How so I have another question here about how many projects do you guys work on at the same time?
Several means that they are in different stages. Let's say one could be like discussing with the idea. Someone approaches with a proposal or a possibility, and you have to develop an idea, and it takes time. And meanwhile, maybe there's another project which is already, that stage is over, and you are doing the technical production and working with providers and sorting the technical stuff. And maybe there's again another one in the same time, which you will pass this step, and we are starting to do the software platform that we need for. And on top of that, another one which we are doing actually the contents. And I would say in general, we might be with 5 to 10 simultaneous projects, which span in maybe from the closest it's going to be deployed or installed or work out in 2 weeks, and the longest in 1.5 years, because it's more abstract and it's something that, yeah, there's an interest and maybe it's going to happen, but maybe every time 6 or 5 to 10 projects simultaneously in general. But that means a lot of work, and being able to change your hat from being an expert doing PDFs, and then an expert on doing Excels, and then an expert on C++, and then an Excel on the creative side. And it's like trying to organize. We are chaotic people. We know so well, we're not gonna lie to anyone. It's not easy to manage this having several projects at the same time. It's very chaotic, and you have to be, we call it like Jedi. You have to be very Jedi, being able to like concentrate on one thing and diligent and and say change the screen, and then and then change the screen. I don't know if that answers the question.
Yeah, for sure. So finally, Eloy, what's next for the studio?
What's next for the studio? What do you mean? What's on here? What's next? Playmodes.
Yeah.
We don't know. And actually, last year we had, at the beginning of this year, we had like kind of a earthquake, because we were like 4 people, and now we are 2.5, 3 people. So that was quite difficult to assume that we were getting smaller. But that's I already talked about this, that we are willing to become smaller and be able to put more attention to projects. That's one of the wills, or the desires that we have, being able to work more with more concentration of the projects, because sometimes we go too fast. But that's one of the options. But we are ready for whatever, and we tried. I don't know how to call, or how you say in English, desapego, meaning if for whatever reason Playmodes is over next year, it's okay. It's what it has to be. I mean, I don't want to suffer. We suffer a lot, but I don't want to move all my life and say, no, we have to keep it because it's a super nice. We've done super nice stuff, and we are fucking proud of all the things that we've been doing, and fun, and people we met, and everything. But that doesn't mean that it has to be forever. maybe it's going to end up next year because we don't get projects, we don't get commissions, we don't get good negotiations, or we get like a fucked up situation like in the US and just ruin financially ourselves. Who knows? But we know in this discussion of decreasing our getting smaller, we said we have to be ready for whatever. Maybe we talk Santi is willing to make his career on musical composition, and maybe he wants to study like a master degree in somewhere, and that means that the company it's going to change to somewhere. And I would say the future, we don't know. What's next? I don't know. Drop me an email and and we'll make something.
I know what is next. At least I know that you guys are coming to the next off edition in Mexico City, so that's what is next. To be in Mexico City for off.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Eloy. I appreciate so much this call. It's been amazing for you to have you and to hear your story, and also like the backbones of the studio. We really missed Santi here. Here with us, but I'm pretty sure he's having a well-deserved holidays. Thank you so much for tuning in to this immersive talk. Before I go, I want you to invite you to Mexico City because there is the Off Festival happening in 1 month and a half. So if you're in the US, check out the link that is going to be there anytime soon. Check out the incredible lineup for this year. It's if you're in LA or Chicago, it's a 2-hour, 3-hour flights. Do it. It's really worth it, and it's really gonna blow away your mind. Always does for me. So, all right. So that's it. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. There are some questions still to answer.
Oh yeah, but we're running out of time, so sorry for those questions. Okay, so thank you guys for tuning in. See you in the next one.
Thanks a lot.